Demand rate metering is a method of electrical billing designed for commercial buildings. It focuses on measuring the maximum amount of electricity the building consumes during a defined period, commonly either 15 or 30 minutes. This approach shifts the billing focus from total energy usage to peak energy demand. To illustrate, consider two businesses. The first uses 100 kilowatts of electricity for 10 hours daily. The second uses 200 kilowatts for the same duration. Despite both businesses using electricity for the same amount of time, their demand charges will differ significantly because the second business has a higher peak demand. Businesses facing substantial demand charges often explore strategies to minimize their peak electricity consumption. These strategies typically fall into a few categories. Firstly, enhancing energy efficiency is critical. This can involve upgrading existing equipment to more efficient models. For example, replacing older lighting systems with LED lighting can substantially reduce energy consumption. Secondly, shifting energy usage to off-peak hours is another effective strategy. This involves rescheduling energy-intensive activities to times when overall demand on the grid is lower, often during evenings or weekends. Thirdly, implementing energy management systems can help to automatically control and optimize energy usage throughout the building. There are several key benefits associated with demand rate metering. Firstly, it incentivizes businesses to use electricity more efficiently. The high rates during peak demand periods encourage businesses to actively seek ways to reduce their energy consumption. Secondly, it promotes a more reliable electrical grid. By reducing peak demand, the strain on the grid is lessened, leading to greater stability. Thirdly, it can result in cost savings for businesses that successfully manage their peak demand. By understanding and responding to demand rate signals, businesses can lower their electricity bills. From the utility's perspective, demand rate metering is valuable for a few reasons. Firstly, it helps manage overall grid load. By incentivizing businesses to reduce peak demand, utilities can avoid the need to build additional power plants to meet temporary surges in demand. Secondly, it improves grid stability. Reducing peak demand makes the grid less susceptible to outages and other disruptions. Thirdly, it promotes energy conservation. By encouraging businesses to use electricity more efficiently, utilities can contribute to broader energy conservation goals. To understand how demand rate metering works in practice, it's helpful to consider a specific example. Imagine a manufacturing plant that operates during both day and night shifts. During the day, the plant uses a large amount of electricity to power its machinery, lighting, and cooling systems. This results in a high peak demand during daytime hours. By analyzing their energy usage patterns, the plant managers might identify opportunities to shift some of their energy-intensive processes to the night shift when electricity rates are lower. For instance, they could schedule certain maintenance tasks or preheating of equipment for the night. By shifting this energy usage to off-peak hours, the plant can significantly reduce its peak demand and lower its electricity bill. It is crucial for businesses to understand their demand rate charges and to actively manage their energy usage accordingly. Firstly, businesses should carefully review their electricity bills to understand how demand charges are calculated and how they contribute to their overall costs. Secondly, they should conduct an energy audit to identify opportunities to improve energy efficiency and reduce peak demand. Thirdly, they should work with their utility to understand available programs and incentives for energy efficiency and demand response. In some regions, utilities offer rebates or other incentives for businesses that install energy-efficient equipment or participate in demand response programs. These programs allow businesses to temporarily reduce their electricity usage during peak demand periods in exchange for financial compensation. Demand rate metering is not without its complexities. Firstly, it can be challenging for businesses to accurately predict and manage their peak demand. Secondly, it may require significant investments in energy efficiency measures or changes in operational practices. Thirdly, it can be difficult to assess the effectiveness of demand response programs. However, the potential benefits of demand rate metering, including cost savings, improved grid reliability, and energy conservation, make it a worthwhile consideration for many businesses. To effectively manage demand rate charges, businesses should consider the following steps. Firstly, invest in smart meters and energy monitoring systems. These technologies provide real-time data on energy usage, allowing businesses to track their peak demand and identify opportunities for improvement. Secondly, implement a comprehensive energy management plan. This plan should outline specific goals for reducing energy consumption and peak demand, as well as strategies for achieving those goals. Thirdly, train employees on energy conservation practices. Employees play a critical role in reducing energy waste, and training them on simple steps like turning off lights and equipment when not in use can make a significant difference. The specific details of demand rate metering policies can vary depending on the utility and the region. Firstly, the length of the demand interval, which is the period over which peak demand is measured, can range from 15 minutes to 1 hour. Secondly, the demand charges, which are the fees charged for peak demand, can vary significantly depending on the time of day the week, and the season. Thirdly, the availability of demand response programs can vary depending on the utility and the region. Because of these variations, it is essential for businesses to carefully review their utilities tariff and to understand the specific rules and regulations that apply to them. Furthermore, businesses should consider working with an energy consultant or a qualified electrician to help them understand their demand rate charges and develop strategies for managing their energy usage. These professionals can provide valuable insights and guidance on how to optimize energy efficiency and reduce peak demand. To give an example, a large office building can implement several strategies to reduce its peak demand. Firstly, it can install occupancy sensors to automatically turn off lights in unoccupied areas. Secondly, it can upgrade its HVAC system to a more efficient model with variable speed drives. Thirdly, it can stagger the start times of its various pieces of equipment to avoid simultaneous peak demand. Fourthly, it can implement a demand response program to temporarily reduce its electricity usage during peak demand periods. By implementing these strategies, the office building can significantly reduce its peak demand and lower its electricity bill. Another example is a grocery store. Grocery stores typically have high energy consumption due to their refrigeration and lighting needs. To reduce its peak demand, a grocery store can implement several strategies. Firstly, it can install energy-efficient refrigeration equipment. Secondly, it can optimize its lighting system by using LED lighting and daylight harvesting techniques. Thirdly, it can implement a load-shedding program to temporarily reduce its electricity usage during peak demand periods. Fourthly, it can install a thermal energy storage system to store energy during off-peak hours and use it during peak hours. By implementing these strategies, the grocery store can significantly reduce its peak demand and lower its electricity bill. Demand rate metering is a complex topic, but by understanding the basics of how it works and by implementing effective energy management strategies, businesses can significantly reduce their electricity costs and contribute to a more sustainable energy future. Firstly, regular monitoring and analysis of energy consumption patterns are crucial. Secondly, adopting a proactive approach to energy management, rather than reacting to high bills, yields the best results. Thirdly, considering long-term investments in energy-efficient technologies and practices offer substantial returns. By embracing these principles, businesses can successfully navigate the complexities of demand rate metering and realize significant benefits. It is essential to recognize that demand rate metering is not a one-size-fits-all solution. The appropriateness of demand rate metering depends on various factors, including the size and type of business, the energy intensity of its operations, and the availability of energy efficiency and demand response programs. Firstly, small businesses with relatively low energy consumption may not benefit significantly from demand rate metering. Secondly, businesses with highly variable energy demand may find it more challenging to manage their peak demand. Thirdly, businesses that lack access to energy efficiency and demand response programs may have limited opportunities to reduce their peak demand. To determine whether demand rate metering is appropriate for a particular business, it is essential to conduct a thorough analysis of its energy usage patterns and to carefully evaluate the potential costs and benefits. This analysis should consider not only the direct financial implications of demand rate metering, but also the potential indirect benefits such as improved grid reliability and reduced environmental impact. Businesses should also be aware of the potential risks associated with demand rate metering. Firstly, if a business is unable to effectively manage its peak demand, it may end up paying higher electricity bills. Secondly, implementing energy efficiency measures or participating in demand response programs may require significant investments of time and resources. Thirdly, changes in utility rates or regulations can impact the economics of demand rate metering. To mitigate these risks, businesses should carefully plan and execute their demand management strategies and should regularly monitor their energy usage and adjust their strategies as needed. Demand rate metering plays a crucial role in modern energy management. It encourages efficient energy use and supports a more stable and sustainable electrical grid.